giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom News Leaders.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Kling with Mediacom News Leaders. We're talking with Ben Gardner right now, an associate professor at Drake University and also an artist whose work is now on display in a special exhibit at the Capitol. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
So this exhibit is in the State Law Library at the Capitol. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's paintings that I made from 2016 to 2017, and there's 8 paintings that are sort of loosely formed around the idea of different representations of civilizations.
Was this something that they approached you about displaying, or how did that work that they ended up at the Capitol?
The Iowa Arts Council is coordinating the exhibitions there, so I believe that there's been at least 1 or 2 previous exhibitions, so the Iowa Arts Council approached me.
So your work will be there on display until August, all summer?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, and let's get into a little bit more about the paintings then and your inspiration for them.
So I've been thinking quite a bit lately about ancient civilizations and how they're represented and sort of the layers of history that change over time and how those things sort of continue to resurface. I guess is probably the easiest way to say it.
And so you started this in 2016, these particular paintings, and what's your process like? What sort of materials do you use?
I'm acrylic painting mostly, and I usually start with sort of an idea of what the composition should be, but then I sort of question and layer and repaint and paint over things quite a bit, so they're kind of densely packed paintings.
So when people are going to see these then on display, what kind of experience do you hope that they have, and what do you hope that they come away with then?
Well, I hope that they find them interesting to look at first, first and foremost, hopefully. And then I think the more time you spend with them, if you're able to, you can kind of start to see sort of images, even though they're not like completely solid images. You can start to see images, and they try to reveal, I think, more and more the more time you spend with them.
So what was it like for you to be able to to go into such a iconic building in our state and be able to see your work there?
It's so amazing. I mean, I've just had some great opportunities lately, but particularly to have the work at the State Law Library is really such a beautiful space, and it's interesting to think about my paintings in that space.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's inspiring to other people too to see your work there, and to think that could be, for younger generations, something that they could work towards. Do you have any advice? Obviously, as a professor, you're charged with kind of sharing your talents with younger generations. What advice do you have for emerging artists?
I think patience is a huge thing. I think you're going to sort of experience multiple setbacks. And I think just trying to persist through those despite the setbacks is probably the best advice I can give. I feel like I've been at this for many years, and I still sort of get rejected from shows and am not selected for things. And I think like sort of working and applying despite that has been like the success of my career.
What is your when you're working on an idea for, say, these particular paintings, for example, what's your process like, and when do you know, okay, this is an idea that I want to pursue and actually get my canvas going, and where do you go from there?
Well, I do start with like sketches. I have a sketchbook that I sort of keep ideas, and so that's usually the place where I start formulating my ideas or what a painting could look like, and then kind of go into the sketchbook if I'm having like writer's block or artist block, I guess I would say, just to see what ideas I have had in the past. And
do you always keep the viewers or the audience in mind when you're working, or is it something more that is more personal than that?
I think during the making, I'm not thinking about the viewer, but at the end, then I kind of think more about how the viewer is going to see things, and so then I might have to edit things afterwards, but generally, like while I'm working, I'm kind of in my own headspace. Yeah.
Well, if people would like to see more of your work, how can they do that, and how can they find out more about the Law Library display as well?
I have work at Moberg Gallery in town, but then also my website, benjaminagardner.com, has most of my work on it as well.
All right, well, we sure appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking with Ben Gardner, an associate professor at Drake University and artist on display right now at the State Law Library. And join us next time here on Mediacom News Leaders.